Hi
Oh,
there. Good evening. My name is Bonita. I'm the mentor for the US, Africa, and the GCC from the Wedding Academy. And with me is our lovely student, Jalyssa Gray, from all the
hey,
way from California.
hey.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Got dressed today, put some makeup on, and I feel good.
You look great.
Thank you.
You look great. Any excuse, right? Getting on camera, any excuse to sort of get dressed and feel
Right.
like before lockdown.
I
Living
know.
pants.
Right. So I don't look a hot mess.
You look great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jalyssa, thank you so much. I mean, you have been an absolute pleasure to watch as a student with us. I kind of just wanted to chat to you about your experiences, to sort of let people know what it's like, how you found it. So, sort of, what you found good, what you found bad, and just where you're at in your business. So, your business is called Lovely Soiree, which is
Yep.
awesome.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, it just, it says I'm sure that it does what it says on the box.
Yeah. Yep. I do what I can.
I'm sure you do it fabulously.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah. So I just wanted to kind of get, so many people come to this industry from different walks of life.
hmm
What has been your background and how did you decide, what has been your journey up until now to finally launching Lovely Soiree?
Yeah, so my background is actually in fashion. So
Yeah.
I have my bachelor's degree in apparel merchandising and management with emphasis in retail, so the business side of fashion. So I went to Cal Poly Pomona, graduated in 2015, and then worked in the industry for about 5 years. I worked in retail, and then I worked at two wholesale companies as a merchandising assistant, and I worked at a wholesale company for a footwear company out here in City of Industry, and I was an assistant designer there. And my journey started when I got married in October 2018. I planned my whole entire wedding. So, and I absolutely loved it, and just I was like, okay, I can actually do this as a career.
Yeah.
And then, I was talking to my husband about it, like, I think I want to do something like this as a career, but like a side hustle. And then,
Yeah.
so I seeked, shadowing weddings. I did, one wedding where I shadowed, and then I actually ended up pregnant. And so I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do now. And, when you're pregnant, you don't really feel like doing anything. So,
Yeah.
so, the whole time I was pregnant, I kind of dibbled and dabbled in ideas of, becoming a wedding planner. And then after I had my son in August, in November of last year, my sister told me about the Wedding Academy master's class. And I was like, okay, I'll tune in and, listen and watch. And
Exactly.
when Kylie talked about the launch pad, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a lot of
Pretty much
money.
all in.
Right, exactly. So I was like, okay, should I do it? Should I do it? Should I do it? And I was like, you know what? I'll do it. And then I decided to invest in my, in the classes, and loved it ever since, and then the Facebook groups is amazing and very supportive. And I saw a blog post on the Facebook group, and I read it, and it's like, if you don't get started now, you're never going to get started. So I decided
Absolutely.
to just brainstorm with some names, and Lovely Soiree kind of just stuck with it. And I got inspired by my family because they always be like, hey, Lovely. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. So, I decided to go with Lovely Soiree,
Yeah.
and launched it on social media in December, and with no content, but just a dream and a plan. And it's been going pretty well ever since. And, I'm still working on it, and I'm sure we'll get to it in a second, but
Really.
just juggling.
One of my questions that I've got.
Right. Just juggling between, being
Your
home with my
mom.
son. Yeah, being home with my
Yeah.
son. He's 9 months now, and then doing the courses, and then trying to get my business going too. It's been tough. And then what actually propelled me to really go uh dive right into my business is when the coronavirus,
Yeah.
happened. I ended up getting laid off from my job.
Oh my
So
God. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't see it
I'm
then.
so sorry.
Why? I was like, oh my God, why? But
I
now
know.
I see it now,
It's
just
a plan.
because it only like propelled me to keep moving forward and not look back. So, you know, God has a plan. So, you know,
exactly.
Right.
Times are tough, and you know, I mean, honestly, there are so many people with a similar story to yours. You know, like somebody having planning their own wedding, and I'm sure that you know, as somebody from that, I think we spoke on the phone. I think 2 or 3 times after or I think before the masterclass or after the masterclass, we kind of had a quick chat. And I remember saying to you, like, you know, your background in fashion, you're going to be so style-led. You know, your aesthetic, I can't wait for it to develop. And, you know, it's just, as I said, it's been awesome kind of seeing you in our student Facebook groups, kind of posting updates, and, you know, getting help. But yeah, you know, starting out, is definitely, look, as a wedding planner, you know, the master of your own destiny, your own business, it's challenging.
Yeah.
And I'm sure all your experience in retail, and, you know, the business side of it is definitely helping you move forward. And, you know, people, you know, come to this business from a variety of backgrounds. I'm always, you know, surprised.
Yeah.
You know, I've had a student that was an air traffic controller, you know, Lebanese.
Oh, wow.
You know, it was like an air traffic controller, and you know, she's a wedding planner. But hey, you need a very organized mind. So, you know, it definitely is a job or a career or a business that draws on so many of your you know, strengths in that. Now, you obviously doing the Launchpad, which is the equivalent of, you know, our advanced certificate in wedding planning, styling, and design.
Yeah.
It is exactly the same content. I mean, we just had an intense, you know, at the time we just had some intense live classes. And you kept up pretty well with that. I mean, you've made some fantastic relationships with our students in the student community. I mean, I see you everybody talking in there. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the community, how's that been helping? I mean, you were really, I'm going to take a deep dive into your business now. But, you know, I see from your recent posts in the student Facebook group that you're busy, you know, looking at your niche, looking at who your ideal client is, and, you know, making that, because, kind of finding your groove and really defining that. How's that going for you? And how has because I'm assuming that you've been busy with the business section of the course, you know, how's that been helping, you know, from now what you know versus before?
Yeah, it's helped a lot, because in the beginning, that's why I chose to do the courses, because before I was like, okay, let me look at some YouTube videos. But then it's just like, it doesn't really dive too deep into detail on how to do it, where to start, how to go from there, you know? And so I'm pretty much done with the courses. I'm on the wedding styling part. So with the business part is really interesting. Even the marketing too. I love marketing. So it helped me out a lot with narrowing down my niche market, because it's like, okay, if I cater to everybody, then no one's gonna really know, okay, what does this girl do? Like, what's she doing? So I had to really narrow down who do I want to cater to, so the ICA, you know, your ideal client, and then what do I actually want to do? So I want to do weddings, and then I want to do events, so like social gatherings and stuff too. So it's really helped me really get a keen eye on what exactly do I want to do, because I'm the type of person where it's like, well, I'm good at this. I can do this. I can do this. Let's do all of it and then test it out.
Exactly. And when you know, I think as a business owner, I mean, as a new business owner, you know, we're often so, you know, interested in getting that business. We're going to fall over backwards to please that client. And, you know, sometimes those clients aren't really our ideal clients. And, you know, there are issues. I mean, it's not to say that you can't, you know, work with people. It's just, you know, you've got, but you're brief a lot, you know, those are the people. And I mean, I always say that defining your ideal client is kind of, you should be able to get your kind of elevator pitch together. So, you know, you know, if somebody asks you what kind of weddings do you plan, I'm sure you'd be able to tell me, you know, I plan, what is it? You tell me, have you figured that out?
Yeah.
Have you found your elevator pitch? Have you decided kind of, you know, what is sort of a short, you know, because if we stood in a, I mean, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but I mean, but I mean, for example, you know, Martha, our brand manager, she's fantastic. You know, she helps modern London city-based couples plan their wedding. The city-based, you know, who are driven by aesthetics. I mean, that
Right.
is, you know, when you stand up in front of somebody, you should be able to ideally say that, you know, within first, so that they know exactly where you fit in. Because I think,
Right. No, yeah, exactly. Because I played with this so many times, and then I actually did the video challenge with Kylie.
yeah,
So I was like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, she's the video pitch with the elevator pitch. What? Oh my gosh! Like, what do I do? What do I do? So I played around with it a lot. So, you know, I specialize in weddings and events, and I cater to the couples that are very stylish and trendy, and modern and romantic, elegant celebrations. So creating just a celebration, lively, elegance, timeless is what Lovely Soiree is.
Absolutely. It sounds like you've got it nailed. I mean, half the time, you know, starting out a business, you know, the business name, you might know what you want to do, but the business name kind of gets you stuck.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the name before you had anything else. And I mean, you know, obviously it's given time for pause, you know, during this time, you know, with lockdowns everywhere. I'm sure, you know, as you said, you have been able to use the time constructively and absolutely sail through your course.
Yep.
You know, but timing, it's all about timing. And you know, I'm sure that you've got a couple of, probably a style shoot or two up your sleeve to develop your aesthetics for your Instagram.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've been playing around with the themes and what I actually want to do, but I think most importantly too is connecting with vendors in my area, so that way, you know, I can build those relationships with people in my industry and really pitch the idea of doing a style shoot with them, because I don't want to just drop in their DMs and be like, hey, do you want to do a style shoot with me? Yeah, exactly. So
it takes so much planning.
I know, exactly. Yeah.
It is a mini event, but you know, the benefits there are for everybody. And you know, doing something like a style shoot is definitely, you know, being able to identify those vendors that you like to work with, and you know, kind of get a groove. And you just find that some people, you know, it's just seamless. And we've got a couple of people watching with us as well. Shoshana, how are you doing, Shoshana? We really want to have you join us on the program. And to Nell, who I spoke to yesterday from South Africa. How are you doing, girl? So yeah, I mean, back onto styled shoots. I just think, you know, the one bit of advice is with styled shoots, having, you know, mentored a few students in the UAE, and helping them put together styled shoots, you know, as long as your concept is pretty strong, that you've got a theme and a vision, that is, you know, you want to encapsulate a certain feeling that comes across in the images, and important to work with a photographer that really understands that. And then, you know, the rest kind of falls into place, you know, at the same way, you know, when you're putting, it's like the same way as you're putting a vendor brief together for everybody else, but, you know, it's that cooperation. And, you know, now's the good time to, you know, make those connections, believe it or not, with the industry, because everybody's on social media right now.
Yeah, they are.
You know.
Yeah.
So what has been your biggest success so far? You know, in terms of, you know, obviously you've nailed down your ideal clients. What's been your latest achievement that you're proud of right now?
You know, I've been, I know, yeah. I've been trying to tackle the certification project, and I chose to go with the portfolio project first, because there's two parts of it. So it's, you create the mock wedding, and then the second part is the long portfolio project, which is pretty much your brand, everything. So, you know, I've been working on it. It feels like forever. And I got pretty much the first half of that project done. So, you know, the contract and the business plan is pretty much done. But I'm like, oh, let me fix it. But it's never going to be perfect. So,
and you know what? Look, at everything within the course, it is not, and I'm sure you'll agree. You know, and this is the other thing that I say to prospective people wanting to join the program is, you know, whatever you do in these courses, they're actually, we don't mark them. we give you feedback on them, we give you advice, but at the end of the day, that's your business.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's your business plan. It is your branding. Who am I to say,
yeah.
I'm not in Southern California,
Right.
It is your business. It is absolutely what you're doing. And, every single business, if you're in business for some time, you do have to visit your business plan. You need to review it, at least every 6 months. Is, that just makes sound business sense to see, are you hitting those financial goals? Are you hitting those expansion goals? Whatever goals that you've set, and I mean, now is a really good time to be setting your goals for, the later part of this year and going into next year. And I mean, I think 2021 is going to be a great season for weddings. Celebrations might be a bit smaller, budgets might be smaller, but people are looking for, there's opportunity because everybody's had to postpone their wedding. Right now.
Exactly. Yeah. And I would, I definitely would say that would be my biggest achievement, because even when I started the program, I'm like, okay, what the certification project? Oh yeah, I'm going to do that, because it's always good to have something else underneath your belt too. And just to show that you took the time to actually build your brand and take the time to, really dive deep into having an actual plan and a goal for yourself too. And then also juggling a little one here is like, nothing done, but I'm up early and I'm working on it, and then I'm working on it late at night. Just any time in between that I have, I'm working on it, and then actually I passed, so which is good. So, but it's still I have ways to go, but just to know that okay, I'm on the right track. So
absolutely. I think with any online course, you've got to be very disciplined. You've got to be kind of structured within your day. Whether you set a day aside, or a lot of ladies, I've said to them before, if you've got an office job, try and, even if you've got a family, maybe stay late after work for an hour, to traffic, get your partner, kind of get the sitter, whatever, make an arrangement to kind of put in that time, because it's slow and steady wins the race, but at the same time, you've got lifetime access, so you'll go back to this and you can revisit at any time. I mean, so I'm really excited to see all of that, and I'll share your your Instagram link over here. So you're gonna jump into this full time, get started. I'm sure that you'll get bookings rolling in.
God willing.
You know what? There is a blueprint that we follow. Once you've got your ideal client written down, you know who that person is. It's like having a personal conversation throughout your social. It's a story that you weave, throughout your social media, throughout whatever you do speaks to that person, and that person will eventually, they'll find you. Pinterest, whatever marketing channels you use, they're gonna find you. And the more specific you can be, the better it is for your business. So I'm really excited that we're able to kind of help you with that. But I mean, you've had some great connections, in the student Facebook group, because we've got a separate Facebook group for students to ask questions. And I mean, I know that you've been following the live Q&As, and then you've made some fantastic relationships. I mean, with Liz, for example. Liz lives all the way in Australia, and you're in California.
Yeah, exactly. I try to at least pop on there daily, and just scroll through it, and if I miss the live chat, I'll come back in and replay it, and then if I have any questions in it too, and then also too, I at least take advantage of the mentors being there, because you guys are our biggest supporters too, even the students too, like all of us, because we support each other. And that's like the safe space for everybody. So, I at least try to look at the veterans in there and pick their brain, Liz and Martha. So I'm like, okay, if you have time, what do you think about this? Or, what did you do about this? So, because if you're not going to ask questions, then
you ain't gonna
know. What is the point of being in the group, Yeah,
exactly. And the most successful students, the most successful people that we've had have been made use of that group a lot, because we do offer all of that support. All of us are in there. And, the students, there is lessons to be learned. It's not to say that, Zoe, Kylie, myself, we don't have all the answers. We don't,
Right.
we learn from, different business practices too, specific to different territories. I mean, I cannot know everything there is to know. I mean, nobody can about a specific subject. So, it's good to share that journey with people that are on the same, in the same boat as you.
Because I'm a newbie and I'm learning as I go. And then also being confident because, that exudes everything. And if you sit there like, oh, well, but I am shy. People might not think.
No, you don't sound shy.
I can't be shy. I laugh a lot, I smile, and I'm like, oh Lord. But it's like, I at least try to push myself like, okay, just ask, even if you think it's no such thing as a stupid question, but just ask. And then
exactly.
You'll get the answers you need because not a lot of time Google has it. So your peers will have it.
Your peers will have it, but they'll also give you something more to think about. And that's, one of the dimensions that makes our program really different, because even though you're not in a physical classroom, it's still, you're in an endless, infinite kind of physical, classroom, but online, because you can go back. You're like constantly, in there, and you're getting input from different people and different things to think about, because like we said, it's your business that you're working on, your business plan, right. And, everything that you're doing in that portfolio piece is eventually what you're going to present to your clients, when you sit down in front of your client. And I mean, yes, you do get the certification at the end, and you've got a nice badge to display on your website. And, once you've done all of that, and, you've got a physical certificate on your wall that you could print out. But, at the end of the day, a lot of people, and this is, something that people don't understand, I think, initially, I don't know if you feel the same way, but so far, but, if you've had, even in your interaction with vendors, the minute you come across as confident and you know what you're talking about, your subject matter, nobody, I can tell an expert within the first 5 seconds, or 5 sentences, call it, from someone who doesn't know their stuff.
No, exactly. And then too, it's just like, I can sit here all day and work on a certification project, but then if I'm not getting my butt out there and marketing myself and really putting myself out there, like, hey, I'm Jalyssa, I have a wedding business and it's called Lovely Soiree. Let's go get a coffee and let's talk business. You know what I mean? So it's like, I can sit here behind a phone and a camera and be like, hey, I like what you're doing here. And then, I need to really like push myself and put myself out there. So just, I can sit here all day and study, but then if I'm not getting out there and getting some experience and books and clients, then what am I doing all this for? Just paying money into something and having an expensive hobby, as Kylie would say,
Exactly. We're in the business of making money and making this, turning a dream into a business, not just a hobby, because it's an expensive hobby. And you also had a couple of questions around, the services which you're going to offer. Have you nailed that down? Have you, now that you've been through, the wedding planner module, have you been able to kind of come at a pricing and a range? How's that been for you?
I keep coming up with all these services. Like I said in the beginning, I want to do it all. But then it's like, I don't have a team. I don't have no one to back me. So it's like, just narrowing down, like, okay, for weddings, I want to do these. And then for the a la carte services, I want to just focus on these and then see how it goes. And then as, the year goes by, it's like, okay, what didn't work? And maybe I can roll some other services in just to kind of test it out. And the pricing too, I did the pricing structure and having it all just make sense, and not just feeling like, okay, well, is that a lot because I am new? But it's just like, no, these are all what I'm doing and this is the price, So
exactly.
Having it all just makes sense in my mind and to the client when I'm talking to them,
Yeah. And you should never apologize for your rates, really. Even if you are, it's more, you're doing a fantastic job, and people. The perception of value is something that, we never, as newbie planners, as newbie business owners, we never charge enough money for our time. And you're going to make sure that client gets value for money. It's always, under promise, over deliver. So, you know, they are getting a lot from you because you want to give them a really, truly magical experience. So, yeah.
Yeah, just knowing your worth, you know, at the end of the day, because it's like, you know, when you are working for somebody, you go in there and you try to get that raise and you're like, well, I'm worth this. Just same thing when you have your own business, you make your own rules, you have your own price. This is what I'm worth, you know, take it or.
Yeah. If you're not willing to pay the price, you're sitting in front of the wrong client. I mean, you know, that's the beauty of, you know, having a structure and a roadmap that helps define where you are going to business, because you will not, you know, land up with somebody, you know, if you're saying that I plan, you know, my starting rates for an event, a small, you know, event starts at, you know, $15,000, you got to have a totally different language to the budget.
Yeah.
It's a totally different marketing language. Your website looks different, you know, your image, everything is different. It's about connecting through imagery and style. And I mean, I cannot wait for you to finish your styling section, because I am laying it down there, girl. I want to see some mood boards and, you know, just some of your ideas, given your background in fashion. You're, you know, obviously a really creative, talented person. And that's, you know, where I get excited. It's like,
yeah.
But it's also, you know, it's also great to kind of see that it's like practicing at home, you know, with like your styling skills, and, you know, even if you're just laying a nice table for lunch, you know, with napkins, different, you know, different colors and, you know, different florals. It could be the same white plates, but, you know, different placement kind of, you know, accent. When you're playing with that, the more you do it, the better you get. And, you know, we give you the background, you know, we give you the background, the sort of structure, but you do with it what you know, you have to, and incorporate it into the your own personal style, you know.
Right.
It's always amazing to see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I love being creative too and playing around with different ideas too. So, and getting inspirations as well. So, and then my thing is I love colors, and that was the idea for my previous job was just, you know, forecasting trends, and I love doing stuff like that too. So when the Wedding Academy, you know, released their trend report, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is great.
That is a monster that we put together every year free of charge for the industry. And honestly, it takes us months. But I mean, we've got some amazing people, you know, from the very top of their game. I mean, we had Mindy Weiss and Colin Cowie, and, you know, David Tutera. Kylie's got his like personal mobile number on her telephone. She's very proud of that fact. Ask her about it. It's like ask her about it. She is extremely proud. But I mean, you know what? Everybody started out where you know, everybody started out new somewhere, you know. About 2 years ago, I had the pleasure of speaking at a conference with Colin Cowie, and, you know, we sat down and he was like, you know what, I sat there, and my client experience, I mean, he's like, I'm now a luxury event planner, but I started out, you know, he's such an inspirational man. I mean, he does the most fantastic events, but, you know, and for him, he's, you know, he's like, I am no different to Mary down the road. You know, our tools are the same, but, you know, obviously he's a well-known name, and then he's differentiated himself going into that luxury market and, you know, creating a client experience. I mean, can you believe the man has got a team of researchers that research the client, his clients, right down to their favorite chocolates, you know, champagne, wine, before they walk into the initial meeting in his office.
That's insane.
Right? But that's why, you know, he's $1 million, you know, multi-million-dollar event planner and celebration planner. I mean, he's you know, he's worked with the biggest names in the world. You know, he's done events for Oprah, etc. So that is, you know, and getting down into your niche. I mean, that's exactly what it's about. I mean, that is a great example of, you know, somebody knowing their target audience, and that is what they expect. People expect that.
Yeah. Right. No, yeah, exactly. You have to give people, you know, what they're paying for, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's just like, I want my client to leave like dang, like I got pretty much my money's worth, you know, and I'm really happy, you know?
Yes, exactly. And just that feeling, it's that feeling of, you know, being able to be enthusiastic in front of your client and, you know, convey that enthusiasm, that for, your genuinely happy romantic celebrations with a modern twist,
Yeah.
you can be romantic and modern at the same time. So yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to see what you create. I'm looking forward to some of those mood boards. And yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, I'm so glad. It's a different conversation now that I'm having with you than when we started, our first conversation. I can hear that, it's chalk and cheese, the difference in confidence in you. It's just, yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah, because in the beginning when I was emailing, I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Nobody did in the beginning.
Yeah. No, you never know. And, I'm still trying to figure it out as I go. So, because it's the industry is so overwhelming because it has so many different elements to it. And it's just about what direction do you want to go and how do you want to put your own kind of flavor on it, So that's what I'm trying to do basically. Because one day I'll feel like, oh, I want to do this. And I'll no. Okay, yeah, actually, I want to do that,
You're fine elements of it, and we even us as the academy. I mean, Kylie, has been in business. We've been in business for 12 years as the academy. It started out, probably more than 12 years now. I need to check, but we've gone through different branding. We've gone through as a team. Different branding. Our branding's changed. Our core clientele hasn't changed, but we've just become a little bit more refined. I mean, in terms of who are the people that we want to have that want to become, wedding planners. And yeah I mean, we love producing great wedding planners because you are a walking testimonial. Kind of your success and our success are tied. So, we're genuinely excited to kind of, help. And yeah, you've been very active in the Q&A that we have every week with Kylie, as you said, posting in some comments, and we answer questions.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm going to end it here. Can you believe we've been chatting for about half an hour? And it's been absolutely lovely talking to you. I mean, honestly, as I said, I can't wait to see more. I just want to leave everybody with, obviously, Jalyssa. I keep on saying your name wrong.
It's all right.
I'm so sorry. Jalyssa is, obviously driven by her passion, and, passion is the key to your success. So, you don't find that it's work. I mean, even though you're taking time away from your family, following your passion, following your dreams can be done even in the most not ideal circumstances, with the economics, et cetera, et cetera. But, it's not work, and you're going to see, short-term sacrifice, long-term reward. So if anybody out there wants to get in touch with myself or Zoe, if you're in the UK or in the Europe or Australia and Southeast Asia, you can talk to Christine and myself for Africa, the Middle East, and the US. I'm the mentor for that. And, we're just there to answer anybody's questions about getting started and introduce you to lovely students like Jalyssa.
Thank you.
I'm going to share your Instagram page with the audience in the comments when we end this broadcast, so that people can follow you and show you some love on Insta.
Yes.
And thank you so much for your time. And
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Thank you. Thank you for all the support too with the Wedding Academy. And it was really, I'm really happy that I actually invested in myself, because not a lot of times, you're like, oh, I don't know if I should do this, but just even taking the classes too, it holds yourself accountable, because, and in the Facebook groups, you're like, okay, I'm working on this. And then it'll be someone like, oh, how's that going? And it's like, oh, let me get on that.
Exactly. No, it's awesome. It's awesome. Okay, darling, have a lovely, lovely day.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll speak to you again soon in the Facebook group for
students. All right, thank you. Take care. Bye.
Okay.